Erev Tov, Petach Tikva. Good morning in Breckenridge. My name is Wayne Firestone on behalf of the America-Israel Friendship League. I am thrilled to be with everybody here this morning for Pilates. It's time to do a little stretching and movement together. We have folks joining us from all over. Let us know where you're calling in from today. Before we get going, we always like to know a little bit about the audience and make some shidduchim, make some connections wherever we can. And indeed, I want to start by asking everyone maybe to share an intention that they have for our class today, or even for the rest of the season. We are definitely moving into warmer weather pretty much anywhere where most people are these days. So we'd love to hear about how you're going to bring exercise into your movement. We have people from Northbrook, Illinois, and saying hello to us. Thanks for being with us today. And if you have in mind, something that you want to do more of, stretching, push-ups, getting outdoors, breathing, incorporating better your own individual movement on a day-to-day basis. That's something that we actually started last time with our wonderful instructor today. And we know that this is the kind of thing that each of us has to figure out for ourselves, but it's great to have an expert like Becky Bank Srour, who's here with us today from Israel, as always, for our wonderful series. Last time we got into functional movement. This time, hey, we're in that beautiful gym of yours. And but this is also the time of year where people begin to do some of their exercise outdoors as well. So I'm wondering, before we start the class, if you have any advice for people who are starting to mix it up a little bit, doing a little bit in the gym, a little bit outdoors. Are these two things something that you can do simultaneously, do a little bit of both?
Yeah, of course. In Israel, by the way, it can get so hot that, going outside for a jog or whatever can be a little bit, you have to choose the right time of the day. My husband wakes up at about 6 in the morning and goes jogging, which is great for him. And he meets one of my students walking in the field. So that's one thing. I have a student who said, I told her, you should probably add a little bit more movement, not just come once a week. Says, yeah, I go out for walks. So I said, good, great. Try to get a bit more out of it. Maybe take bigger steps. Maybe take those lunges, take it a bit lower, higher. There's always a bench on the side. So I can actually give you a few, I'll try to chip that in throughout the class today. So yeah, try to just be more creative and get, as much as you can out of that time that you're actually dedicating to your movement.
That sounds great. Well, listen, I see in the chat that we have people who are calling in from the United Kingdom, where it's nighttime, and we have people in California who are just waking up. So I know you're seated, but I know that won't be for very long. And I see the map behind you. I'm going to move my location as well. Hello, Anita in Dallas. Thanks for joining us as well. We've got a lot of geographic dispersity today. And so everyone should feel free, I think, to find the right space, indoors, outdoors, sitting, lying. Becky always gives us a lot of different options, and looking forward to the class today. Thanks, Becky. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. So as I said, it was Independence Day when I recorded my little promo, and I said, okay, let's be more independent, in what we do. I went out for a picnic with my friends, they're about my age, and they brought little chairs to sit on outside, and they were very low. And one of them was getting up, and she said, oh my goodness, this is not easy. So, these are little things that you want to start thinking of. So we'll try to sort of break it down into the different details that we will need in order to help ourselves move, get up, get down, Okay, so we will be using the chair part of the time, but I'll actually push it aside for now. And we're gonna start by sitting down, okay? So you can just take the mat, okay? And I'm gonna be resting down here, wait a minute, I'll take it a little bit back. There we go. Okay, so we're sitting, leaning back on our arms, okay? And we're just gonna start. So we've got different parts of our body, we'll call it like the ankle area and the knees and the hips, okay? And the first thing we wanna do in the morning is get up, right? So we'll start thinking about that. We're actually lying usually, but we'll start from here for now, okay? So we wanna get some of our hip motion, okay? So we're gonna start moving from side to side. It's also a great way to just release your back. As you get up in the morning, sometimes you can feel sort of stuck. Okay, so this can be done sitting with your arms back. So you also get the stretch along your arms, your pecs. And we have, you see this sort of internal rotation in the hip if we open our legs a little bit more, okay? So you can really give this a good stretch. One side and the other. Okay, and let's bring this to the lying down position. Okay, so we'll just whoop, go down, roll down, have a nice split between your legs and also over here. Okay, so we're going to rotate internally with one leg, externally with the other leg. Okay, and try to really bring that hip of the internally rotated leg forward. Okay, so you're sort of pressing the ground with your foot, okay, the heel, and then go down with the hip and try to first place the hip on the ground. Let the legs turn to the other side, internally rotate the hip and press, okay? So we're just starting with some mobility and stretch and let the hip fall and other side. Right, and then we'll cross one leg over. Okay, these are great ways to start the day. And to the other side. See, I'm sort of playing with my leg, different angles, closer to the end, farther away, okay? And the other side. Okay, just get that nice stretch. Some of you are just waking up in the morning. I think it's the best way to do it. Okay, 1 and 2. Inhale as you open up, exhale as you start tilting and bringing your legs towards your hand. You can straighten the leg and then take the hand and grab your leg. And now try to bring the shoulder back sort of towards the ground as much as you can and lengthen the other arm away, okay? Stay there for a little while. And you're using the upper hand over here to press down. You can try and spread your back a little bit more. Breathe in and out. And back to the other side, tilt, bring the leg over. So I am letting the shoulder in the beginning just so I can sort of reach the ground with the other leg. I'm pressing it down a bit with my hand and then I'm trying to glide back into place with the other shoulder. Okay, just be here for a while. A couple of breaths in and out. And for those of you who were here last time, we talked about the fact that the more mobile we are, the easier it is to do these movements, right? So it's something definitely to work on. Okay, and then you actually need less power. Okay, so now let's just be a little bit more free to go. 1, and you're sort of swinging your legs, and 2, and 3, and 4. Great. Okay, and we're just gonna prepare again our pelvis a bit. Tilt it forward on the inhale and back on the exhale. Just sort of warming up a little bit. Inhale here and exhale to spread your lower back on the ground. And one more. And exhale. And the next time we're going to go up to a bridge. Inhale. As we exhale, we tilt back. We're going to press our arms. So also start keeping in mind what we have around us to help us make an action. Okay, so I've got my feet on the ground. Okay, the upper body, shoulders, arms. Okay, so I'm going to really use my arms and my feet to come up. Okay, so let's go back down and just check what would happen if we would do it without our hands. Okay, so we got more of like the back of our body working. Whereas over here, if I use my hands, I don't have to use as much of my back muscles. Okay, so I can sort of choose what I feel like doing and where I feel like putting the emphasis. Okay, and again, pressing down in and letting my pelvis come up and even higher and higher to get a better hip extension too. It's another thing that we're going to need afterwards for the transitions. And again, up. You can inhale here in order to expand the chest and get the neck stretched a bit. And down. And one more time in. Press the floor to get a bit more of it. Try to get your thighs together. Start feeling your feet. You can lift your toes and lift the ball of the foot. So we're pressing from our heels and placing down. So what we're working on now also, besides the posterior part of our body, is our feet, our ankles, our toes. Okay, and we'll talk about it soon. Up, down. So you're lifting the toes and lifting the ball of the foot to a full flex, and back, down, and one more time, up, up, and down, down. Inhale here and exhale to come down one vertebra after the other, all the way to a neutral spine. Now we're going to take one leg. Okay, so we're going to bend it, flex our foot, and then press our heel into the ceiling. And make sure that you see your foot, your toes, your knees, okay? And you really want to get a nice length, okay, with the top part of your femur, okay? Pressing down into the ground and the heel up. And we're going to move to a demi point, okay? So it means that the toes are spread out, and we're just going to point our ankle. And at the end, we're going to point our toes. Okay, so now we're going to open our toes to the demi point and then flex. This might be a little hard for people, and their leg might be over here, and it might be sort of pulling their neck. So you can use something, okay, a band or a shirt or something, just to, help you keep that leg up. Okay, so again, we're working on the hip mobility and as well as the ankle range of motion and control. Demi point and demi point and flex, and just pull the leg a little bit towards you. Nice. We'll straighten the supporting leg, and we're going to cross over. So I'm taking the opposite hand to the leg and letting myself just another stretch. You can relax to a point or a flex and really let your body fall over to the other side. Try to get it back. Open it a bit. So you're going to drop the leg to the same side of the leg and bring it back up and bend. Step down and use the other leg, okay? So again, you're going to flex, bend the knee, straighten the knee, demi point, and demi, and flex. Okay, so this, again, is something that I see that many people have trouble with, just getting that flexion in their toes. Okay, so it's something to work on. I'll give you a few more tips for that soon. 2, 3, 4, and straighten. You can pull it a bit more. And then take the opposite hand and cross over. Whoop, you can fall, it's fine. Another stretch, spread your arms, go back, and let the leg fall to the other side. Stretch. Nice. Okay, so now let's see what our options are to get up from here, okay? So since we use this sort of rotation here of the hips, we're gonna do it very freely. And then just see what happens to your shoulders. You see, they wanna sort of lift up, right? And lift, and let them lift, and let them lift. And then we're gonna whoop, let it lift, and cross your hands, place your hand on top of the other hand. And then go back. And again, side to side with the knees, very lightly. Okay, again, we're working on some mobility today. And to the other side, whoop. And again, and whoop, bring the hand. And again, bring the hand. So you see, I'm really not doing anything much, just letting, okay, the bones follow the direction of the movement, okay? One more time, till I face you. Nice, so I got one hand over the other hand. I'm gonna take the upper hand and place it on the floor. Now I can move my legs, you can try different angles with your knees and hips, okay, in order to push up, okay? This might be hard for some of you, I've seen. You can use different placements of your arm, okay, in order to push yourself up. Okay, this is a bit harder. You can put it in. You can put your hand behind your head, okay, and you've got yourself a push-up here, okay, a single hand push-up. Not very easy, but worth working on, definitely, okay? So we're gonna do a few of these. And see how, if I keep my spine straight completely, I'm gonna have to use more energy, okay? Okay, so I got more abs working here. But if I let my head lift up a little bit, I'm sort of helping myself, right? I have a smaller range to go with my hand. Okay, so it sort of helps me get up, which is fine, but it just means that I'm gonna need to work on this side flexion. Okay, so we'll work on that soon. And then we're gonna just push ourselves up and put our forearm on the ground. Upper hand behind our head, and this is the mobility we're talking about, okay? So we've got side flexion, in and out. In and out. Okay, so we can try working on this a little bit more and then go back to the other position and try it out with more mobility, okay? So we can go back down and see what happens when I sort of lift myself, okay? And lift myself and spread myself down. Lift. Nice. And push all the way up. Okay. And if this is too hard, because it does take something from my hands, I can just continue the roll, okay, and face down a bit. And then I've got this push-up. Okay, so we'll work on this too. Okay, and I'm trying to extend my body. Okay, and get to a push-up. And again, you can change the positions of the legs if you want. And while we're at it, we can use some more movement for the legs. And then we'll try and push away. Whoop. Okay. And again, fall to the hands and whoop, push away. 3, about 8 of each. 4. And push. Right. And push. 2 more. 7. Nice. Okay. And we'll go to the other side. I'll be over here. Okay. So as we said, we are going to roll to the other side and whoop, naturally, you see the hand just comes over. Okay, you can go back and again, whoop, just let yourself sort of pour into that position. Okay, choose a position for the bottom hand. Okay, it can be again behind your head, straight up. Okay, a bit harder, in, hugging yourself. Okay, and we're going to try and press up. So again, we're using this flexion, side flexion, okay, in our chest. And up. I'll take my hand out and 5 and 6. Let's go back to our forehand. And again, see if we can open up that range a bit more. So I'm using the elbow to pull away, right? Like an accordion. Open up the ribs. Exhale, inhale. And 2 more. And we'll get back to that. Nice. And spread yourself out. Okay. And push the ground up. And try to get a bit higher up. And 3. And 4. See what happens if you change the position of your legs. Ooh, I got that. And 5. Got the pecs working. 7. And all the way up. And again, if we want to make it a bit easier, we're going to do some push-ups. Okay, we can leave the leg down. Okay, and get the extension in your spine. Okay, and we can add the leg kick. So we're rocking. Nice, and we're gonna add that push, okay? So this is another thing that we're gonna work on is slower and faster movements. Maybe we'll keep that to a different session, but just saying it's a good thing to work on faster movements as well, more explosive. And boom, right, pushing the floor, and 7 and 8. Okay, so let's now just try to lie down on our back and see how fast we can just get up from lying down, okay? And we'll try to do it from the side, just as we did, okay? So we can lie down. And we woke up in the morning, we're doing our nice stretch here. And it doesn't matter what side of the bed we're on. And we suddenly decide to roll over, whoop, and get up and give it a push. Okay, go back to where we were. So what do we have to do? I have to bring the hand over the shoulder to the ground. Okay, you can face the ground a bit, put it back in, whoop. Okay, and come up from the other side, whoop, and push. Okay, so we got some transitions here, and push. Down, away, other hand, and push the floor to get up. Now, see this position? So obviously when we get up from bed, we don't have this mermaid position, but it is definitely something to work on. So we're gonna end up in the first direction. And we'll work on the hips. So we'll start as we did before, not exactly, so we're already in the mermaid position. It's a Z position, okay? So one leg is turning outward and the other one is turning inward. Okay, so I'm gonna take the same hand as the inward turned leg, and I'm just gonna start, many people have trouble just sitting down in this position. I know it's not like a day-to-day position, but sometimes you might need it. Okay, even just getting up from here, okay? Or getting down from all 4, okay? So these are things that might be useful. So again, we're gonna break it down. So what would be the problems over here? Okay, so I've got this whole hip rotation over here. I've got the ankle, okay? And then I've got the positioning here of the pelvis and the ribs. Okay, so we'll break it down a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is take my hand and put it really on the head of the femur here. So I'm just grabbing it. It's not my pelvis, it's really the leg, okay, the top of the leg here. And I'm just giving it, you see the rotation with my hand, okay, and really try to release these muscles surrounding it because they can get really stiff, especially when I'm trying to stay here. Then I'll get really stiff here. So just relax the neck and relax these muscles surrounding, okay? And just sort of let it, okay? So I want to try and get the sit bone of the same leg to try and feel the ground. I'm also using this hand a little bit, the opposite hand, to push myself down a little. Okay, so we're in and out, in and out, in and out. Nice. Another thing would be whether I'm bringing my legs closer to each other or spreading them. Okay, so see how that responds. Okay, and whether it helps you to make it farther or closer. Okay, or somewhere in the middle. Notice how the pelvis tilts forward and back. Okay, so this is another thing. So I'm finding a certain position and doing some pelvic tilts, which also sort of screws the leg in and out. Okay, so I've got that. And then I want to work a little bit on this point over here. So we started, remember, the demi point and point. And now I'll just turn around a bit. You see, I'm trying to really place this whole line, okay, onto the ground, and just press it in a little bit and play with the ankle here, okay? I'm just gonna give it a bit of a release here, okay? Some people really might feel it, okay? So these are all kinds of things that you can do, okay? And also the knee gets the stretch. Okay, let's move to the other side. Okay, so again, I got the hand on close to the head of the femur, okay, the really upper part of it. Okay, so I'm rotating in and out. Okay. Few of these, okay, and then I'm checking whether I want to be closer or farther. Okay, maybe move out the knee or in, okay, see which one enables you to find that spot with your sit bone, okay? Nice. And then I'll grab the ankle. Also, I can bring this, the tibia, okay, a little bit closer and farther. Nice, and then I might want to just sort of press it in, like I showed you over here, okay, to get the stretch the front of the ankle, okay? These are all things that might be done. By the way, of course, just sitting on a cushion will elevate you a little bit and alleviate this tension that you might get over here. Let's move back to the first leg. By the way, even just doing this, okay, so you got some ab workout. So this is great. Do a few of these. Nice. And what I'm trying to do again is sit up straight as much as I can. Okay, so just sort of moving around, okay, and sort of stirring your ribs. It's also good for that mobility that we talked about before. Okay, in one direction and the other. Okay, and then I try to sort of make those circles a little bit smaller and float up. Okay, and also over here we can do the mermaid. And again, I got this pressure over here. Okay, so I'm pushing in and the other side. And again, just do a few of these since we already did it. Other position. And one and two. And again, let's transfer our legs. Whoop, no help. And again, let's find ourselves over here again. So we've got the hips. Any questions there? And we got the ribs circling around one direction and the other. If there are any questions, I'm here. And then just sort of try and align yourself as nice and tall as you can and relaxing, okay, your neck, your arms, your body, okay? And then up and over, stretch, push to the other side, and up, and push. And one more time, and push. Okay, now we're gonna transfer to all six, okay? So you see, I have to get there, right? So again, I have this whole hip mobility, so I'm gonna start by circling my whole body, okay? And you can do this with different positions of your ankles, okay? Now, I like to emphasize this, okay? So I'm really pressing the whole bottom of my leg down into the ground, okay? So then I really got the stretch of the point. If I want, I can even lift my knees a bit and try to keep your heels not separated, but as close as you can to each other, okay? So that's one side of the stretch, okay? And again, we're moving our hips from side to side. And again, some of us might really have trouble doing this and even sitting all the way down, okay? But don't forget, you might want to play with grandchildren, children, okay? And it's going to be on the floor, most likely, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? So if you really have trouble with this, then I suggest practicing it with any cushion that would sort of help you get the motion, but not put too much stress on the hip in the beginning until you get more of the mobility. See, and then you can go sort of back and forth and then to the other side. Okay. And again, we'll try and sit and roll back. Hip down, try and sit and roll back. 2 more times, or 1 on each side. Nice. Okay, the next thing is going to be in flex. Okay, so again, this ankle area is really crucial, okay, for getting up, getting down. Many people I know have issues with just placing the whole of their toes on the ground here, okay? So this is definitely something to work on. You can lift up your knees. And another thing I wanted to show you was you can just work on it against the wall. Okay, so you see I'm just putting my toes up, okay, seeing how that feels. And then I can bend my knee, okay, and lift up the toes. So this would be something for the beginning, okay? So I want to lift it up, and then I can also get a nice stretch of the whole Achilles area over here, okay? So I'm really trying to bring my knee forward with the toes up, okay? In different positions, you can do it with the other foot. Okay, so this would be something for the beginning. You see, I can lift up my heel or lower it, but I know that many people might have trouble with this. Okay, so you might want to work on this before you move on to the ground, and then maybe put your knees on something a bit higher. Okay, so you've got that going. And once you do have that going, see how it works with your feet flex, and then moving all the way back to bending your knees completely. If you can, try to find that range if you can, okay? And then lift yourself up from here. So we're just rolling back. Okay, rolling, and then we can stretch up. Okay, and forward, back, up, nice. And keep going. Okay, so the easiest way of getting up would probably be something like this. 1 step, 2 step, and then lift your body up, right? But, you know, it's a way, and it's a good way. Okay, so we've got sort of the deadlift, as we talked about. We lower our hands. We are going to need, okay, the extension in our hip, hands down, one leg and the other, okay? So that's, again, something to practice. You want to be able to bring your legs towards your chest, okay? So we can do it again on all 6, 4, 6. Got the knees and the toes. And just working on this, so it's actually working on the oblique muscles. Okay, so just working on bringing the leg towards the arm. Okay, you can also sort of play with this motion over here, in and out. And if you want to add some more fun, let's do the other side. Okay, so we can not move our body, only the leg, and then we can start playing with a little bit more range of motion and more fun. Nice. So we got this in order to place our leg down, right? And then here we want to stretch our leg, okay? So we're going to go backwards. And again, you can play with your toes here. They can either be flexed to get that stretch, maybe straight body, and then lunge forward. Okay, flex and lunge forward. Maybe lift up. And again, flex. Flex the toes in front so you get a nice stretch over here. The hamstrings and up. Okay, now if you want a little bit more of a workout here, you can lift up and go back. And okay, lift your heel back and then bend down. Okay, so you can always add some more fun to it. You can work on your balance by lifting the front of your foot and going back down, okay? Woo. Nice. Okay, and we'll move to the other foot. Okay, so we're here, front, and stretch back, and front, and back. So I said we can do it with a point. It depends on what you need to emphasize. And front, and back. If there are any questions, I'm here. How's it going, Wayne? Okay, no hands. You can. And then you can flex the foot, lift the knee, and go back. Whoop, down. And again, lunge and straighten. If you put your legs closer together, it will be easier. And lift the heel and try to find the balance here. A little bit slower. Nice. Okay, so we're getting ourselves up little by little. So as we said, we can start from this position, just send the leg together. So now that we're nice and fit, okay, there's no problem just bringing ourselves to this, okay, lunge position. And now we got to work the strength, okay, of getting up and down, okay? So again, the wider, the harder it will be, okay? The wider the step is. We can use our hands up here or for more support. Of course, you can always take a chair, okay? And see if you can get all the way down with the knee. Okay, so we're going downwards from up here, or of course up from down. So if you need, if there's a problem going all the way down, again, you can put some support under your knee, okay? Not go all the way down, but I would try and search for that range, okay? So we're going down and up, and down. Nice. Woo. And you can always use some weights and, you know, have a great time with it. Okay, you can play with different positions, also different focuses. That way you can talk about in another session, the balance. Okay. And we'll change legs for now. So again, we'll go back all the way down to 60. Just going up and down can also be an effort. Okay, so we'll bring the leg forward, push ourselves up. Okay, and work on our lunges. Okay, do about 8 of these for now. Nice. Okay, and now how do we get back to down? So there are all different ways that we can do it. The easiest way would probably be from here, sort of roll down. You can go round, you can go straight, you can bend your knees and walk forward. Okay, so let's do some of these walking forward and going back up. And roll up, nice and relaxed. Okay, and again, roll and walk forward with your hands to the plank or to the knees. Okay, and come all the way back up. Walk, walk, walk. Nice. One more time. And then we'll reverse it. Okay, so we're walking forward. Okay, and then we want to come back with our legs. Okay, and down. And back with our legs. Okay, so the step by step would be, you know, the easier part or the more common way, but we can also try and be a little bit faster. So we can hop over and stand ourselves up. Okay, so you want to go back like burpees. And if you want to add to this, okay, we can add some more fun and jump up. Okay, so let's do about 10 of these, and we can do them slow to get the power or fast to get the explosive. Okay, so just play with this. And again, you can take the step back also, like in yoga. Okay, maybe go down, maybe put your knees down. Okay, another option. This is also part of the transitions. And just try to jump up or get yourself, your legs back forward and back. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I really find important to get to those push-ups is because you never know what will catch you, and just falling on your hands, forward, it can happen. I've seen things like that happen. And you really want to have this strength in your arms. So if you have, if you want to vary this and make it a bit easier, you can always, for example, use a chair or use something higher, okay, to get that push-up done, okay? So this is, a nice beginner's position. You can also press against the wall, for example. Start over here where your legs are back and your hips are straight, and just push against the wall. Okay, so there's a lot of work over here. The closer you are, the easier it'll be. But if you just take a little step back, it's already not so easy. And make sure that you keep your hips straight and your heels do come up, because I don't want this tilt now in my hip. Okay, I want to stay very straight. Okay, and fall and push away. Okay, so getting again different ranges over here and different rhythms, okay, is also very important. Okay, so I can even play with this push up, woo, you see, against the wall. And when I'm great at that, I can move down to the chair and start with the plank push up or bent knee push up. Okay, or you see, I have a bed which is a bit higher, the Cadillac there, which is a bit higher up, so that will be a bit easier. Okay, I can go down to the chair. I can lift up my legs, even just this. Okay, so instead of doing the, oh, I'm getting up, okay, I'm gonna try and find different ways. And as we spoke before, you're going out for your walk or your little jog, and you see a bench there and you're at the end, why not just take the bench, do a few push-ups, okay, take your leg up, okay, stand here, you can lunge forward, get some stretches, some lunges, okay, and on the side, okay, we're gonna do a few of these too. So this will get a nice stretch in the adductors, okay. And again, as we said, we want to bring our leg up towards us, right? Because we were in the plank position or the all six. So you see, we want this hip flexion over here. So another thing, which is a little bit harder, would be just to lift up the leg. Okay, boom, dropped. So just working on this, you can do that in the park. No one will say anything to you, I promise. Okay, and you can work on the side. Okay, and you can even work around the chair, up and forward, and up and backwards. Okay, then you get even more, okay, some balance workout and range of motion, okay, and the strength. Really got a lot out of this type of workout. And then we can even turn backwards, okay, get a stretch over here. Okay, you can do some lunges. Okay, do about 8 of these. And if this is too high for you, you can always work, say, over here, okay? Or on a lower surface than the chair. Okay, now another thing is lifting things up from the ground, okay? So what we want to do, again, most of us will just bend to get it. So again, we've got that lunge, but we did that already. Okay, so we want a variety of options. Okay, I find myself without even noticing, just sort of, okay, lifting up my leg and picking something off the ground. Okay, so, just working on this balance, okay, is also something that you might want to try. Okay, and then you want to pick something up, lower it down. Okay. And then again, you got the stretch. Okay, you got the balance. And you're also sort of working with your foot here. Okay, all the muscles of the foot can start getting tired. Okay, which it means they're working. Good. Let's do the other leg. Okay. So again, got up, we're done with our run. Okay, we want to stretch a little bit so we can go forward. Try to get your back nice and straight. Okay, so we're bending and stretch. Nice. Okay, and lift and turn to the other side, bend. Okay, some more strength here. Okay, the foot can be flexed here, again, if you need it, or pointed. Nice. Okay, and again, we'll go back and try to do some lifts. Forward. Again, you can do it with your knee bent if you need to. But we always aim to the just a little bit more than you think you can do. Okay, and we'll turn to the side. And again, lift. Okay, so about 5, and then we'll go up and forward, and up and back, and up and forward, and up and back. And a few more, see, got the balance. Nice. Okay, and then we can turn around. It can be like this, or we can put our leg and pivot. Okay, and also over here, we've got some lunges. Okay, it can be stretched leg or bent in the back. Notice that I'm tilting a little bit forward so I don't get too much of an arch. That's for a different session, how we sort of open up here so as not to sort of collapse into our lower back. So if you feel that it's too much for you, again, you can lower the leg. Okay, and we're going to try and bend and pick up. Okay, so we can do it with the bench behind us, the chair, or just without. And again, lower. Okay, got the deadlift. Okay, nice. And try to keep the balance here. Next thing would be just side. Sort of falls down to the chair. Okay, so we're gonna move to the side of the chair. Okay, and we're gonna take our leg out. Okay, so again, often we don't always sit on the floor, so we got like a, our bed or a bench or something. And again, you can do some of these stretches, lifting up your leg. Okay, and this is another part of the transition here. Okay, so we got up, and we can even try and reach down. Okay, and come back up. So again, just sort of being creative with the movements that we can do, things that we might somehow find ourselves encountering. Okay, side of our body here, working. And one more. Nice. Okay, other side. Okay, so we've got just a little bend in the beginning. And try to reach down to the floor, lift the leg, and come up, okay? Again, we got the strength of the obliques here. And the wider range. Okay, and you can lift up the leg a bit. These are our walking muscles, part of them. Keep balancing our hips while we walk, so it's always good to have them. Nice, and come all the way back up. And all the way down. Stretch yourself as wide and tall as possible. Good. Okay, and just for the end, the best stretch, pigeon stretch, okay? Again, back from the run and walk, and you want to rotate externally this time. Can open up a lot of issues in the hips, okay, the ischias. Okay, so we're gonna tilt our leg outward. Okay, so I'm just stepping on the outer arch of my foot. Okay, bending forward, nice long body, and also over here, I'm sort of pushing my, wait a minute, here, pushing my knee out, okay, in order to open up that hip a little bit. And you can straighten it, turning outwards. Okay, that front leg, okay? And again, this can be done at different heights, and you can rotate in and out. And last time. Good. Okay, a little bit forward and back up. Other side. Okay, so I'm keeping my knee out. Okay, you can step back a bit. Forward, straight body, nice and long. And give it a bit of a rotation. You see, I'm dropping that ankle in the back as I'm turning all the way around here. It's a beautiful stretch for the thigh. Every angle here can also be very different, okay, in the area that's getting stretched. Okay, so just feel for yourself what you need, what you enjoy. Okay. That's also part of this whole independent thing. Just to try and understand what your needs are, where you feel like you have to sort of get around yourself, or you can give it a bit more of the work that you need in order to improve and expand the movement that you can do, okay, and not limit yourself. Okay, great. So that would be it for today. I hope you had a good time.
Well, Becky, those pigeons for me are always magical when I'm on the mat, but also doing it on the bench like that. Those are hard. I guess if you're doing other kind of exercises, like
Yeah,
I like to
and the
run
yoga,
and bike, and it always tightens up those the hips like that. Those are great to
I
end with.
know. Yeah, yeah. So it always feels good. It's like it opens up that whole, yeah, really, it's a weight bearing area. The whole body is, is on our hips generally. So
Now we did have. I'm thrilled to say that we have one of our viewers today is 96 years old, and
wow,
yeah, Tanahara.
wow.
So
That's amazing.
the question we got is: are there certain exercises that apparently standing are the best for them? And any advice on perhaps something that's just a little more simple? What you were doing on the pole with the push-ups, I thought looked great, but I don't know if that could be done maybe a little bit closer to get the same kind of exercise.
Yeah, so again, exploring is always the best thing to do. I guess a bit of the physics of the workout. When you're standing upright and pushing against the wall, you have much less pressure on your shoulders. But again, you're getting the motion. Okay, but if you take a step back, right, then you have more of that vector going downwards. Okay, so you got more of a workout, okay, in the abs, okay, in the arms. So it's really about exploring what you can do. So yes, if you can't do the push-ups on the ground, I'm not saying don't try, because again, at some point in your life, you might be lying down, in bed, or, people can fall. And just having, that strength or the mobility to roll around. So we did a lot of sort of natural roll, and even having that just let loose in yourself is also important. So it's not only about this, okay? It's responding. You know, we can have a whole class about, you know, balance and response. So balance is super important. It's the most important thing at the higher ages, osteoporosis. You know, you don't want to fall, but you do want to practice in a safe area all these things. You know, I teach older women, and you know, I have them whatever standing on back, you know, on a very small plate, excuse me, a small base, you know, and closing their eyes, and they might feel a little bit woo, okay, or lifting a leg or tandem. You know, there are stages that you can take, and or you know, stand on your toes. They immediately want to go to the wall just to be safe and not to fall, but you have to practice it because you're not always going to have that wall, or you know, I have these straps over here, you can't see them. You're not going to have it walking in the street or sometimes even in your own home. So you have to try and find that place where you feel safe enough to give it a bit of a, you know, a bit of a push. We can talk about balance in, you know, next session or something. So yes, you know, try to find the modification that allows you to do, but then, you know, try to find that thing that you're sort of struggling. But you know, you want to do it. A little bit of it, you know, if you're lying on your tummy, you can elevate your chest. I think we talked about that last time. To just work that push-up in that angle, because it's specificity. You know, you want to be as specific as you can in your workout. You know, aiming to something that you want to do in the end. Because if I keep modifying, then that's where I'm going to be. Okay, yes, as you asked, you know, a workout for the older age, sit and stand, okay? And, you know, you can do 30 seconds of that. Increase the aerobic, as I said, about the faster motions, okay? So you can work slowly, okay? Or then sorry, when we move slower, then we're using a specific type of muscle. Okay, it's the red, how do you say, Sivim strands. I don't have the word now. And we lose the white ones. Okay, the white ones are the faster ones. Okay, those are the more like explosive. And so you want to work also on the faster motions. Okay, so if you sit and stand, you want to do it as fast as you can. You know, my fast isn't your fast, or isn't a 96-year-old's fast, but okay. So, you know, up and down, walking, see, just with your legs nice and high. This, you know, 2 minutes of this, it's, you know, it's a great workout. It's very effective too for the heart.
Well,
again, range of motion. So yeah.
So Becky, thank you for giving us so many options. Today, I started standing. I'm finishing on my mat. As always, you give us many different alternatives for people of different abilities and backgrounds and ages and mobility. I definitely vote for a session on balance in the future. I think that would be a nice addition to what we've already covered. For many people next week, they get to celebrate Yom M, Mother's Day, internationally. We will, of course, be doing a special program here. We invite everybody to join us. It won't be quite as physically active, although it will involve music. So if you want to get up and dance, we have two amazing guitarists that are brought to us by the America Israel Cultural Foundation and their CEO, who will introduce their program of cultural interchange. We have an artist in two guitarists, actually, of very, very different backgrounds, Didi Gold and Dita Peled. One plays more classical Spanish guitar, and the other plays more jazz guitar. So we have a terrific mix of their compositions, of their performances. We'll have some taped videos from some of their recent performances, and you'll have an opportunity to celebrate with us. So everybody, welcome back. We're looking
Great.
forward to being with you next week, May 14th. Everybody have a good stretching day.